fellow Americans here in this stage and watching at home, this moment is not about me. It's about all of us, and it's about who we're fighting for. It's about the auto worker in Michigan wondering why out-of-touch politicians are destroying their jobs. It's about the factory worker in Wisconsin who makes things with their hands and is proud of American craftsmanship. It's about the energy worker in Pennsylvania and Ohio who doesn't understand why Joe Biden is willing to buy energy from tin-pot dictators across the world when he could buy it from his own citizens right here in our own country.
Welcome back, America. I'm Hugh Hewitt, joined by Noah Rothman of National Review. Now, Noah, I have an advantage. I am from Warren, Ohio, which is in the heart of the Steel Valley. When I grew up, there were 6 steel mills. There was Lordstown's GM plant. There was Packard. They're all closed. They're all gone. JD Vance was talking to people from places like Middleton and Warren, Western Pennsylvania, and from Michigan and Wisconsin, who are wondering what happened. And what happened is the WTO admission of China and most favored nation relations with China done by Republicans and Democrats alike. That's who he was talking to last night. And I don't think Republicans should be weighed down by the sunk costs of the debate over Ukraine as they address the American heartland and try and get them to send serious people to Washington, D.C., as opposed to surrender monkeys that populate the Biden administration.
Well, okay, are we talking about national security policy or domestic economic policy?
You got the floor for 3 minutes. I want to be fair to you. Whatever you want.
Sure. Thank you very much. Well, I don't necessarily know if we're talking about anything but distinct flavors of surrender monkeys. The projection of American strength abroad, a confident American abroad, is, I think, of value because this is something also that JD Vance said, that people don't fight for ideas. This is this weird nationalist flourish, and I understand why. They don't want us to be promoting ideas like liberty and democracy abroad, which we understand make us safe because shared values make us safe, because those are the things people fight for. They want to back out of the fight, and they prefer not to have the fight. But the notion here that people don't fight for ideas, they only fight for it because it's an abstraction, he said. They only fight for their home. People have been fighting for ideas since the Peloponnesian War. It's just a bizarre thing to say. And going back to the surrendering on the economic policy, which I think is what the nationalist right does. I mean, it's not like we're at Reagan and Thatcher who slammed Hayek's book on the table and said, this is what we believe, as opposed to Macmillan's third wayism. It wasn't a fight. It was a brutal, bruising fight. And those fights were won. And we're merely surrendering the gains we're lost. JD Vance makes a lot of distinctions, populists do all the time, between Wall Street and Main Street, as though this is something that is distinct in economic policy, and if you support one, you don't support the other. This is straight, unreconstructed Obama 2012. So let me borrow from Obama 2012 and say that is a false choice. Conservatives understand that sound monetary and fiscal policy work together, and they are good for all Americans. The economy is not a zero-sum game. If I'm doing better, that doesn't mean you're doing worse. The pie grows broadly. It lifts all boats. This is something that conservatives once believed. Elizabeth Warrenism is a failed project, and I don't intend to support it in Republican.
Well, JD, I think, makes a crucial distinction, Noah Rothman, which is it is a great policy if you're not dealing with communists who cheat. And I am not a tariff guy. I'm a free trader. And I know what happened in Ohio and Michigan and Pennsylvania was not inevitable had we been smart about China. But you cannot trade with communists. They cheat. Do you agree with me, Noah?
I agree with you in theory. I just don't see a way to lock the world's biggest producing economy out of the global economy. I just don't think it's feasible. Now, WTO status, favored nation status, that's policy. That's distinct. And 2001 to 2001 accession was probably a bad idea. But the notion here that you simply cannot do business with the world's biggest producer of goods is just fanciful. Economics change. The economic landscape is dynamic. It is not static. It cannot be protected.
But no, we were wrong.
Retail this idea.
We were wrong about China. We were just wrong. They never abandoned their Leninism. Deng Xiaoping just hit it well, and Xi has torn off the mask. And we don't have to do business with totalitarians. We didn't do business with Hitler's Germany in 1940 and 41. We don't have to do business with China.
Because that was a protectionist regime, and don't skip over Hu Jintao, who actually did make the capitalist economy much more vibrant. And it's Xi who's been re-Marxismizing, I think, the economy. And I agree with you. It needs to be a combative, confrontational relationship. It's just simply not one we can just wish China out of the landscape. China's not going away.